Thanks for your dedication and first class reporting on the UAP subject. I've heard a couple of things about our sun being more than we know, and I was wondering if Ross had heard anything about this apart from the recent Jesse Michaels interview with Dan Sherman.
Just for those of you who haven't seen it, I strongly recommend you do watch. It was a great effort by Jesse. He finally scored the interview that a lot of us have been trying to get with Dan Sherman, who wrote a fantastically intriguing book hinting at the fact, or suggesting very overtly, that the United States Air Force has indeed been working with people who have psychical, psionic abilities for quite a long time. Dan described how during his service in the Air Force, he was enlisted into a secret program where he was essentially taught how to telepathically communicate with non-human intelligences and to relay communications, most of which he had no understanding of, to and from both humans and non-humans. It implied that there was a very organised program being run through the auspices of the National Security Agency. And look, frankly, I find Dan Sherman highly credible. He tells a absolutely amazing story, but it does mesh with accounts that I've had from other people inside the national security infrastructure who tell me that there are still ongoing uses of psionics inside the system. I'm not sure that the program Project Preserve Destiny that Dan was part of is still operating, but it does intrigue me that he did describe his own communications with non-humans, and Jesse's done a marvellous job. I think it's several hours. It runs for about 3 hours, interviewing Dan in great detail. And you can also get his book Above Black on Amazon. And one of the things he talked about, to come to the question, is he talked about how in one of the conversations he had with the purported non-human intelligence, it told Dan that we humans do not have a sufficient understanding of the importance of our sun. And the non-human intelligence implied that the sun is used as some kind of a portal, almost had a reverential tone directed towards the sun, that we humans don't yet realize its full significance. We merely see it as a source of light and energy, but we would eventually understand the significance of the sun at some time in the future. And I made notes at the time because I thought it was actually quite significant. We told Jesse he had an alien called, which he nicknamed Bones, and another one called Spock. And he explained, they think around time. It's not linear like ours. And then this whole thing with solar portals. The sun's not just a star, it's a nexus point. You go in one side and you're out in another system, which sounds a bit like the sun's some kind of black hole. And what I loved about this is that it conjoins with ideas that I've read about in physics papers, about the first 3 paragraphs I can understand, where they talk about Einstein-Rosen bridges, wormholes, and is the sun capable of being a wormhole? Sherman suggests that they are stabilized by the sun's immense gravitational and electromagnetic energy, which makes our sun a preferred entry and exit point for visitors to Earth's solar system. I loved all this idea, and I thought it was great how much detail Dan had about it. He claimed that aliens harness the sun's energy via Dyson sphere-like structures or plasma manipulation, echoing the Kardashev Type 2 civilization scale, where a society can fully utilize a star's energy. And he said the sun is some kind of portal to other star systems like a Dyson sphere, but more harnessing it for jumps. And then at one point, I made a lot of notes about this because I was really struck by it. He recounted a telepathic exchange where an entity expressed awe about our sun, implying humans undervalue it. Quote, he was talking about how we really don't understand the value of our sun and that we will at some point eventually understand it. It was this profound reverence, like the sun is the creator, the source. And he then went on to say how the alien had told him these portals connect all the stars in a kind of network,